Hello, and today in the Fight Back Fall series, I'd like to talk about the thriller in Manila, 40 years on, and the valuable lessons for fighting falls. If this is something that would interest you, stick around and I will get straight into it. So, there's nothing like a great comeback story, and Muhammad Ali, who's considered the greatest boxer of all time, the GOAT of boxing, um, has a comeback story. Now, at the top of his game in the late 1960s, he refused to be drafted in the United States Army in protest to the Vietnam War. The decision cost him dearly, and because he was unable to fight, secondary to sanctions and that were imposed by the various athletic commissions, he was forced into retirement. Now he could have called it a day. He would have been still be chronicled in history books as a great boxer, but his goal was to be the GOAT. And so he fought these sanctions and finally he was able to return to fighting. He was patient and persistent, and in the 1970s, he had a chance to fight with the then champ, which was Joe Frazier, in the fight of the century. Now, it would have been a lovely story, comeback story, if I said he won, but unfortunately, he lost by unanimous decision, and he also hit the deck with a lead hook from Joe. Again, at this point, if he had decided to quit at this point, he would have been still be regarded as a top fighter. And the other thing that was working against him at this point is that he was, it was becoming more unlikely that he would get back to his 1960s status. However, with patience, persistence, preparation, and planning, despite the odds, he had another two chances or two encounters with Joe. And so, one of which is called The Thriller in Manila. And reporters many years later, when they interviewed both fighters, Ali stated that he was the closest to dying that he had ever been, and that he won the fight because Joe stopped before him. Now, it's been about 40 years, as I said, since the fight occurred, but it still carries great lessons and key ingredients um, for one to stay in the fight. And in your case, being able to stay in the fight against falls. So I'll discuss with you five things or five key elements of this. The first one is the psyche. Um, Ali, in the build up to the Thriller in Manila, had this rhyme, and it was a killer and a thriller and a chiller when I get that gorilla in Manila. So he called Joe a gorilla, and this was tactical. He planned, the aim of this was to get Joe so mad that he wouldn't be able to think properly, and therefore that would interrupt his game plan. However, Joe himself was resilient and he knew how to overcome the most difficult circumstances, the most challenging fights. And so um, there was a match here of two strong psyche. However, the in terms of fighting falls, you want to replace from your psyche those limiting beliefs and replace them with empowering beliefs. So, for example, fear is a huge factor in fighting falls, and so you would want to replace that with facts. Now, the second um, ingredient or lesson is patience. You've got to be patient. Be patient. Believing that you will succeed and it's not a matter of if, but when. The third lesson is be persistent. Persistence allows you to stay in the game. And whilst you're in the game, you're looking for and executing solutions to the problems which pop up. The fourth one is preparation. You need to keep doing the things that are essential to your success. And you need to do those consistently, effectively, and strategically. And the fifth lesson is partnerships. And this is where achievers, high achievers, great achievers, they have a team around them with the goal of making them successful. I'd just like to share with you again around the Thriller in Manila. Joe's coach realized that um, he had obviously studied Ali and noticed his strategy. And so one of the things that he did was he ensured that the referee was a Filipino referee. And because he didn't want Ali to use what he called foul tactics that he used in the second encounter he had with Joe and actually won the fight. Um, so he put those things in place. But the other thing where he came through for Joe is that he realized that Joe was prepared to fight until the death. Excuse me. And he realized that no, it was time to stop this fight because there was life. If Joe was to have life after the fight, then he needed to stop the fight. And so, having a partnership is having a coach, a mentor, or, you know, that person or that voice that is going to tell you when to go and when to actually rein it in. So, that's it for the lessons that we got out of the Thriller in Manila. And I'd just like you to drop a comment if you found any of the lessons in this video helpful or if it resonated with you. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more um, helpful information about how to fight back falls. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you.